Monday, December 1st. This is a pre-open SPY video about 10 minutes before the open, and a new month starting today, December. So I just thought I'd shoot a video describing what I'm kind of looking for, some of the things I'm looking for to start the new month. So obviously we're gapping down today. You can see from, that half day last week. We are gapping down. The pre-market range is between these blue lines, and we're in a kind of a two-down mode, taking out the low of the previous day. So, it's possible we start the week with a little downside action, but it's also possible we'll find out with opening price action, as always, can we get above the pre-market highs, hold there? And if so, then, can we get through the halfway point of this bar from yesterday and resume the uptrend, or is it just going to consolidate a little bit down here, or maybe even break below the lows and go a lot lower? And now if we head lower, which it seems like it wants to do at the open, you can see here on the daily chart, after green, we're due for a little bit of pausing action on the two down day. Our next target would be kind of to this low, and if you look a little closer, there's a gap here between the high of this bar and the low of this bar. So if we head lower today and opening price action goes below the pre-market range, I could see definitely taking out this area and heading towards this yellow line in here, somewhere in the gap between the high of this bar and the low of this bar, right in this area. So we'll be looking for this, if price heads lower, what happens in this lower 670 area. The interesting thing here is if we go to the weekly chart and we look at where that yellow line is, that's kind of the midpoint of this green bar from last week. When I see a big green bar like this with a target up here, I'm still expecting that high to be tested and ultimately to reach that target. So I kind of like this down opening early in the week, even if it's a day or two, that might hold in this area and then start up. And those are going to be the more exciting trades for me until this weekly chart breaks down, and we'll have to, we'll have all week to find out if that happens. But if we generally hold the midpoint of this green bar early in the week, at some point you kind of expect things to hold and then start up and take out that high. So, that's what, even though we're gapping down, it might head lower, and there's still some nice volatility for some trades to the downside. I still think the better trades are going to be when things resume higher, and we'll find that out with, daily price action and as always, kind of what the opening price does each day relative to the pre-market range. So even today it might head up, but if not, if we pause and we can't really follow through much lower, anticipate some good buy signals towards the end of the week. And then finally, on the monthly chart, we have this kind of this monthly hammer looking bar. So when you see that, you also kind of anticipate taking it, going up a little higher, even though it closed a little red by the end of the month. So we're starting a new month in December. We'll see what happens. As long as we'll know what that opening price is today, and whatever that is, if we're below that, we stay negative. You kind of see this big buying tail in here, so you do expect support somewhere in here. It doesn't have to happen, but that would be, if it does, and then things head up, that becomes an exciting trade to take to the upside. But if we gap down, and whatever, let's say the opening price is right here, like it's 679 area as things open, that'll be a key reference point. Let's just say to this, I'll mark it when it opens for the rest of the week, and as long as we stay below there and want to continue to lower targets, I'll stay biased to the downside. But I'm still actually expecting some kind of failure down below, and then I'd be excited for buy signals that unfold. So that's my pre-opening comment. We'll see what happens to start the day. Let's just see for today between this pre-market range where things want to open and go. It's possible we even take out this low right here and then try to come up through the first 15-minute bar, and maybe then that targets the high of that range, and maybe that starts a failure to the downside right out of the gates on Monday. Never know for sure, but price action will lead the way. But that's some of the context I'm looking for this week and for the rest of the month.